All right, guys. Well, welcome. We are so honored to have Vincent Orlick here with us tonight. He is Plexus's social media manager, the one and only Vincent Orlick. I'm so excited. This is Tara Castaneda here and David Castaneda sitting next to me. So this is the Slim Jims call all about social media, which is so awesome because that's how we built our business. So welcome, Vincent. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. And David, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Recent advancement. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's been crazy these last couple of months.
And Tara, you just said I guess I didn't realize that you built your business using social media that much.
Totally.
So yeah, we'll definitely get into that.
Almost 100%.
Almost 100%. Almost.
How about David? What about you?
Same thing.
Really?
Facebook. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's been we call it our hidden gold mine because it just works. So kind of how Vincent and I were talking about how we were going to run this is we were just going to kind of have a conversation between David and me and Vincent about these questions that you guys submitted. And at the very end, there is the top question that you guys asked. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss that very last question because it's the biggest one that we all are dying to know about. And I can't wait to hear what Vincent has to say.
Big one. All right.
Yes,
yeah, definitely.
It was submitted several times. So
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through the questions as we got, but I saved that last one for the end. So we're going to go ahead and get started if that's cool with you, Vincent, or did you want to say
anything? Of course. No. Let's go for it.
Cool. So somebody submitted, I want to know if just posting to Facebook is simply enough, or should I also be doing Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, etc.? I only have a Facebook account now. Should I venture out?
So that's not the big question? What?
No.
That's not the one that everybody asked? Oh, okay. Basically it's how many different platforms should someone use? And that is a pretty popular question. The thing is that you don't want to spread yourself too thin. You really don't. And there's a difference between using these platforms for personal use and for business use. Even though they might kind of mix once in a while, or you might move from business use to personal use in the matter of a half a second. It's still and back. There's still a separation that you really should keep. That being said, don't spread yourself too thin. Facebook, everybody's on Facebook, right? I mean, everybody uses Facebook. It's ubiquitous. I mean, if someone's not on Facebook, it's almost like they don't exist. Really, because people have profiles and they may not use them, but they still have a profile. For businesses, it's a must to have a Facebook page. Like you guys, any other businesses that you patronize, if they don't have a Facebook page, they have a website, great, but they don't have a Facebook page, you can't find them on Facebook. How does that make you feel as a consumer? So, and I'm asking you guys seriously, like, how do you feel specifically if someone doesn't have a Facebook page, a social media presence on Facebook?
Yeah, I would feel like they're outdated.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, and that's pretty much the case. I think for any industry, any business. So for yourself, though, it goes back to the whole you are your brand. Mm-hmm. You're the brand. You guys are Plexus. We have this great new home office, and Alec and Tarl and all the execs and all of us there. But really, it's you guys, because you guys are out on the front lines representing the company on a daily basis. You're the ones that people see. So if you're on all these different social media platforms, but you're not really utilizing them, you hurt your brand personally. And in a way, you kind of hurt the overall brand too. If you have a Twitter account, let's say, that is just it's you haven't tweeted in 2 years, but the account still exists, or you're just kind of tweeting out quotes or something, like things that aren't really of value. They're not providing value to people. Like, why would I follow your account if all you're doing is auto tweeting quotes or auto tweeting from Facebook, let's say. And I know a lot of people kind of connect the two, but you shouldn't, because each platform is different. Each platform has different audiences, and you really have to custom tailor the content. Even if it's a slight change, you still have to change it for each platform. Don't go on all the platforms at once. You're not going to be able to. It's going to be a time suck. You really want to pick what's going to work out for you. So everyone's on Facebook. A lot of people now are jumping on Instagram, which is great. Instagram is mobile. It's in the palm of your hand. There's 100 million plus users on it. It's visual. It's easy to pick up and use for the most part, at least on a consumer level or just on a basic user level. For your business, there's different approaches. There's the whole hashtagging thing, getting into other feeds, putting up the right kind of content. But Instagram is very popular among ambassadors too. Even Jules. I mean, I don't know. Have you guys used Instagram a lot or somewhat or not at all?
Yeah, I did. I started out and used it a lot, and I try. And I'll be honest, I kind of am a Facebook junkie. I don't really use many others, but I tried Instagram and I tried to use hashtags that I thought were popular based on searches, and I really didn't get a lot of good feedback. So I kind of stopped and pulled away from Instagram and just went back to what was working for me, which was Facebook. But I'd love to find another platform that worked for me. I've kind of dabbled in Twitter and Instagram. Twitter much less than I did Instagram, but I would like to feel more comfortable on those platforms. For me personally, I would like to.
I have 2 photos on Instagram.
Yeah,
and 1 tweet from 4 years ago.
He uses Facebook.
Twitter is a little more difficult. There's a learning curve with Twitter.
Yeah.
If you want to use it the right way. A lot of people kind of look at Twitter and they're like, oh my God, where did the tweets go? And who's even paying attention? And,
yes.
and what's even going on? I'm using a hashtag and the @ sign. I don't even know what I'm doing. and that's all true for the most part, but Twitter is very powerful because it really does allow you to communicate with anyone. Now, whether they reciprocate is a different story, but if you tweet to someone and use their mention their @handle account, they're going to see it if they check their account. If they look at their notifications, they're going to see that you tweeted to them. So whether they respond, who knows? But I mean, they see it. But there's a whole like learning curve with Twitter, how to use it, best ways to use it for, there's a thing around social selling, that concept of social selling, which is different than selling on social, if that makes any sense. There's social selling is like a concept, right? But Twitter's a whole separate thing. I'm trying to pull together some webinars and things. I want to do some of that stuff for you guys, some Twitter 101 or Instagram 101, and put those out there. But it's got to be worth your time too,
I'll be there.
There's some ambassadors that, good. Perfect.
I'm like, my concern with Twitter is I tend to be not super wordy, but it's hard for me to only do so many characters and get my point across. So that's my challenge with Twitter is how do I effectively communicate in such short words? Well,
with Twitter, and not to get too much into Twitter because I don't know how many people are really using it, but with Twitter, a lot of people think about it as like, you get all this many characters, and how do I fit a message in there? Because I think a lot of people think about it in terms of my message that I'm broadcasting out, that I'm advertising out. And really the way to use Twitter is to engage with other people, to have a conversation. It's not, and I'm not saying that you would do this, but it's not to just kind of throw something out there and say, I love Plexus and this is why, and there's my testimonial, there's a picture. Like, people do not respond to that. There's so much noise on Twitter that it's so easy to just go by that stuff because there's 1,000,001 people doing that type of thing on there, whether it's our company or other companies. So it's more about direct connection. It's more about, connecting with the right group of people. There's things called Twitter chats that we used to do our one on every Friday morning called Op Chat. I would host it and people would kind of jump in, and it's centered around that hashtag, and we would have a topic of the day and questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I joined one of those one time. Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
They went pretty well. I mean, it wasn't hugely successful, but I mean, we had a core group of folks that would jump in, and I would have some friends on sometimes that I knew, like in the social media world, that were doing something specific that could help potentially ambassadors, and they would be like the guest, and we'd ask them questions, and then the other folks would jump in. But yeah, it's a whole different world of engagement and really communication back and forth. Yeah, so
I definitely think that if you did like a Pinterest 101, an Instagram 101, a Twitter 101, I think those three main, I think Facebook 101, for the most part, most people kind of understand Facebook, but those others, if you do that, please let us know. I know I would attend all of them, hands down. I really would.
Yeah, of course. It's been on the drawing board for a while. It's just a matter of pulling them together and putting all the content together. So
awesome.
For sure. But yeah, so just answering the question in a short form, don't spread yourself too thin. Use the ones that you're comfortable with. And like something like Pinterest, if you use it personally, don't necessarily try to be like, oh, I'm going to use this for my business and then start posting, because people may not pay attention. People may not respond well or respond at all. So It's just use it as you normally would, unless you're specifically going to focus on that platform for your business also, and you're going to like learn how to use it that way.
Okay, cool. The next question that I found really interesting, are there any new and upcoming social media places we should be checking out or should be aware of right now?
Snapchat.
Okay, talk to me about that. That was another question. Yeah.
Snapchat. So I've been with the company since February of 2013. And back then, I mean, Snapchat's been around for, I think, 4 years now, maybe 3 or 4 years. So it was still relatively new when I started, and there really wasn't there wasn't like a focus, I didn't think, for us as the company to have an account on Snapchat. I didn't think it would really benefit us, especially since there wasn't anyone in my position that managed just social media until I came in, and the other channels needed immediate like help because we were on those Facebook page and our Instagram account. I want to get those going first. Now, I mean, this is 2 years later. Snapchat's grown. It's also got the audience that's on there. It's not just teenagers. It's not just kids, high school kids. It's aged up. It's aged up for sure. And it's not just for sending dirty pictures like they used to say. Like when it first came out, that's what everyone. Oh, it's just for that, and kids use it. And it's awful. Blah, blah, blah. Well, now you have brands like Taco Bell, I mean, you name a brand, the NFL, the NBA. I mean, there's brands on there, and then there's also advertisements. It's a whole different world on there in terms of how you use it, and who's on there, and how you can choose to use it with friends and who you connect with.
So what would
be very much more personal? Yeah.
What would be a good example for a Plexus ambassador just starting out on Snapchat? Would I take a picture of like me with my pink drink and like put a little quote on it?
Could.
Or like,
yeah, I mean, you could.
What would be like a good?
So it's a learning curve. Not to keep throwing that in there, but Snapchat's probably more of a learning curve even than Twitter at this point, just because it's so foreign to people that have never been on it. But as far as content, it's really anything that you're doing during the day. I mean, I connect with a lot of my friends on there. I do follow brands. When there's a brand on there, it's kind of interesting to see what they do, what companies do from their company account.
Yeah.
For an ambassador, it would be a more personal way to connect with someone, but without like the commitment of being a friend on Facebook, if that makes any sense. So on Facebook, if we're friends, now your stuff is showing up in my feed when I go on my feed, right? And I have to either skip past it or I'm going to stop and read it. But it's something else to scroll through to get to more content. With Snapchat, you have it's like a content list and a contact list. And so your contacts are all there. You can see who's got like a snap or snaps waiting to be viewed by you.
Okay.
They expire after 24 hours. And so there's like that feeling of not pressure, but can't think of the word I'm looking for, but Urgency. Perfect. Thank you. Yes. That urgency that when it's there and it's like even ticking down to a point where it shows notches of how much time is left that you can view it. And when it's sitting there, like you can choose to watch it or let it go or just watch some of it. So it's totally up to you as the user. You're not like forced to see things coming through your feed and make a decision that way.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So if
I can
someone
see how that could be beneficial for a really balanced personal and Plexus kind of way to share that. I could see that in my head. Yeah.
it would be so here's where the benefit I think comes in for ambassadors, because you have friends, everybody has friends that use social media. Not all your friends are going to be using Snapchat, but some are.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the ones that are not ambassadors or customers are on there. And so that's the way that you can connect with them, where you're not doing Plexus. Again, you're not showing Plexus all the time, slim,
Right.
drink, all that. It's more about you. But here and there, yeah, of course you're going to be wearing a Plexus shirt, just even in you're doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. It's in their mind.
Subliminal messaging. It's powerful.
Yeah, they see it. Absolutely. The branding. I mean, that's as people keep seeing that thing over and over again, they may have that interest, but you're connecting with them on a very personal level is what it is.
I love that. That's a
allowed
great
to do that.
takeaway. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's a good question that we got. Is it true, someone had said that they mentioned at St. Louis Super Saturday that it takes approximately 3 comments on a post to get it pushed to the top of more people's Facebook feeds. Is that true?
I keep hearing that one a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that that's not true, but I've never heard it. So they may have gotten that. I mean, there's a million kind of experts out there and people that know specific just Facebook. Like that's all they work on, and that may be something. It could definitely work. I can't confirm it. Here's what I can tell you though is that if you want people to comment and or share what you post,
and that bumps it up.
Well, what it does is it gets your content seen by that person more, and of course, if they're commenting and if they're sharing it, well, the likelihood of their network seeing it is that much higher. A like is okay. A like is okay. A like, they're weighted. So comments and shares are weighted heavier than a like on a post in terms of the engagement rank, if you will, with the back end algorithm of Facebook. That is how it reads what people are doing.
Okay, awesome.
I do have a friend that works at Facebook, and he said that if somebody comments on your post that usually doesn't comment, that will push it up way quicker than if like Tara or I would post on each other's status. Like, so if it's somebody we haven't talked to in a long time, it'll push it up quicker.
Yeah, and when you're saying push it up, what you're meaning, I think, is like, and when I comment on, say I don't ever comment or anything on your posts, if I comment on your post, now the next time I'm on Facebook, I'm going to see your post that much easier.
Right.
So it would be a good idea because you see all the time on Facebook, like, for example, one that I saw recently, can you spot the panda in the middle of the snowman, right?
Oh, yeah, that one's everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, so it was everywhere. So that would be something good, some way to engage your non-Plexus people through comments, because that would increase the likelihood that they would see more of your posts. Is that fair to say?
The idea behind that, yes. Mm-hmm. That one specifically, I don't know, because it was so prevalent and people probably get sick of seeing it. The other thing too is users on Facebook a lot of times are they're getting more savvy as opposed to like even a year ago or especially 5 years ago. People know they know, like, when you guys throw a question out there, when someone throws a question out there, if I see that in a post, a lot of people now realize, well, if I answer that, then I'm going to see more. Like, they know kind of the basics of how Facebook works. Yeah. So it's tough, it's not easy. It's tough to like get the right mix of being authentic, but getting engagement and all that. So I just always go with, if I was an ambassador, be yourself as much as possible, and not necessarily, the whole like we were talking about, posting pictures of the product and deals and stuff like that. It's more about you, because you're the brand. You're the reason. Like, they follow you. They don't follow Plexus. They follow you.
Yeah.
It's the people that are not ambassadors. I'm saying, like, that are not that way.
That's why we were just talking about that. Like, you can always tell when somebody's fishing on Facebook, like when they do just a random poll question, and like it just looks gimmicky.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So you want to be authentic in how you engage your non-Plexus audience too, so it doesn't seem like okay, they're just
I'll scroll through my Facebook and I'll show to her. I'm like, look,
this is a fishing. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for that info. Okay, so we have several questions about hashtags. So, how to use them effectively. What are your tips on hashtags?
Well, number one, I would say if you use them on Facebook at all, only use like one in a post. It's really at this point, the Facebook hashtags, people really don't use them in that sense. So here's an example. Are you guys, when you see a post with a hashtag in it, are you clicking on the hashtag?
No.
Do you click on them? Like, can you remember the last time you clicked on a hashtag in a Facebook post?
Yeah, but it's rare that I do that.
When you click, do you remember, like, is it something having to do with Plexus, or is it one that there's going to be other posts with this hashtag? Like, was it SuperSat 2016?
There was that one, and then I'm not going to say this word out loud, but it's ASS whole parent. If you know, if you know that. We have a toddler, so if you know that hashtag, it's pretty funny. So I clicked on that one because I know that that's kind of a rampant one. But as far as like, because you see sometimes people using hashtags where it's like a sentence and they're just trying to be funny.
It's funny, yeah.
A real like a hashtag,
which is fine. Yeah, I mean, and that's okay to do. Like I see Jules doing that too.
I do
when
it
you're
too.
doing that. Yeah. It's fine to do that. I mean, it's because it's obvious. Like, you're just being funny, making a joke, right? I use them for our posts on the company page, just more of like a branding thing. Because, you can tell someone, go click on or go search for hashtag #OnePlexus on Facebook. And it's not just our posts, it's all you guys too, because you guys all use it. But that's, and it's funny because Facebook actually has really good, the search engine there, it's called Graph Search. The search on there is cool if you do a search for a word or a name or whatever, it comes up on the top. You could pick all these different options. Live, which is like the most recent in chronological order, the top ones, people, pages, groups. Man, I mean, there's so many different things. There's like 10 different things on the top.
Yeah.
And so it would be really cool, but they were late to the hashtag game. Like the hashtags were never Facebook's thing.
Yeah.
It was Twitter's thing and then Instagram's thing. And I think why Facebook did that is because Facebook bought Instagram back in 2012.
That's right.
And so Instagram, there's hashtags. And what it does is when you like share a post from Instagram, which a lot of people do, and it has hashtags in it, well, now those are coming up in the search if someone does a search for a specific hashtag. So they kind of work together. You don't have to use hashtags on Facebook because you can search for a word and it'll pull that word up in posts.
That's okay. That's a good point.
Like a Google search specifically on the Facebook platform. Now,
so to kind of go back to Instagram, if people are using Instagram or even hashtags, because a lot of hashtags, you kind of have to know the more popular ones that people are clicking on. Do you have like a top 3 hashtags that we should be using as far as a health and wellness company? Are there hashtags that we don't know about that we should be, using?
It does depend on the post. I mean, I would always tell you guys to include the #OnePlexus hashtag in every Instagram post. So so talking about Twitter and Instagram, but even more specifically Instagram, that's really where you want to use hashtags. And Instagram is the one that allows you, it's okay to use like a bunch of hashtags. Yeah. It's not uncommon, and it's okay.
Like, if non-Plexus people, because sometimes non-Plexus people will search like, I don't know, health.
Fit Life or
Fit Life. That's a good one. Fit Life.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great one. What are some other ones that you
there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's health. I mean, I use a lot of times I'll use the kind of the branding of the company, like the pink, just Pink Drink,
Yeah,
just for the branding. But then entrepreneur,
that's a good one.
mompreneur,
That's a good one.
Wham, WAHM.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty popular. Sam, SAHM, stay at
Mm-hmm.
home mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mill spouse, MIL spouse, military spouse.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's all these. It's funny because on Instagram, there's all these little kind of not little. There's all these niche
Yeah, exactly.
groups, networks, and there's people that follow and post to those hashtags all the time. So it allows you to be part of that conversation, but really be part of multiple conversations on there with your post. And again, it's not necessarily $12 off ambassador membership at the end of the year, although that wasn't a bad one. Like you could still post that, but the other stuff around that, you should be posting. Instagram is you. Like Instagram is very much real time, and that's how they want it to function. Even though you can upload photos from your phone and take videos and upload them to your phone, to your Instagram from your phone. That's why they kept it mobile for the most part, because they want you to like use your phone and take pictures.
Got it. Yeah.
And take
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
And don't be afraid of the video. It's 15 seconds of video. You can, make create your own hashtag, and every, Tuesdays with Tara, and every Tuesday
Also, pretty good one.
yeah, but don't be afraid to make it, and then that becomes yours. And then as you're posting every week, well, now on your business cards or on your marketing, you can say on Instagram, go look up this hashtag, and you'll see like all these posts from you if they're
I love
interested
that
in.
idea. That's a great idea, team. That's a really good idea. I'm going to talk more about that. You got my creativity juices flowing on that one to encourage the team on something with that. That's awesome. Thanks. Okay, so here's another question. And you might or might not know exact answers, but a lot of people ask, once I like and once I comment on someone else's Facebook post, so we're trying to engage with our non-Plexus people, right? This is the gist of here. Once I do that, how long am I showing up in that newsfeed of that other person? Like, how long are our accounts linked? Or should I be doing that really often? You see the question we're asking here?
Yeah, I do. And there's not Facebook and Google are similar in the sense of like they don't really tell you exactly how their algorithm works. A lot of it is just like people figured it out as time goes by, and then they update it, and then it's something different. So there's not. I don't even know that there's really an answer that would be known anywhere for that one, because that's definitely more of like a coding technical algorithm
Would you say
thing.
maybe every 3 months it's a good idea for us to kind of recycle our friends list and kind of go in and go back and engage with non-Plexus people and just kind of go through our friends list every 3 months, every 1 month, every 6 months? Do you think that's something we should even be doing?
I think it may depend on where you are with your business.
Okay, talk to me about
Because
that.
if you're like at your level, you guys' level, at a Jewel level, I don't know that the time, it could be either way. It could be like that's more of a time suck to do that, or that could be a way for you to get connected with people that haven't been connected with you, haven't seen your stuff, and now you're a Jewel, like now you're at a different level. I think the people that maybe are starting out or a little further along than starting out should do it more frequently.
Okay, that's good to know.
Just because, I mean, it's like low hanging fruit in a way.
Yeah.
And at least that way you can kind of weed out and get through that. Who's interested?
Yeah.
And if they're not, I mean, just let them go. And if someone's not responding or engaging with your posts and you see that, I mean, you can kind of tell. It's don't waste your time. There's so many other people out there that and that you don't know. It's I mean, I'm sure you guys preach this anyway, but it's just you got to know where to spend your time. And Facebook gives you a lot of the tools like that inside Facebook, but you also have to be careful how you use them. You don't want to, just because someone liked your post doesn't mean you should go, and even if you're friends with them, doesn't mean you should go and like direct message them that minute, and or within
Or
a
you
day,
just
and be like,
Plexus right now.
yeah, hey, we have an awesome deal. You should buy this.
Yeah.
You know?
That might scare them away.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
let them marinate. Let them marinate, and keep putting out interesting content. And that's what it's all about. Like, if you're putting stuff that's interesting out there, that people find you interesting, find your life and you interesting, then they'll engage with you.
Mm-hmm.
The Plexus thing is just one piece,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and you really have to, in a way, especially on your personal profile, you really have to think about how other people use Facebook. You know, if we're friends and I'm not into Plexus at all, and I see, you know, you like yesterday you posted stuff, I saw stuff about Plexus, I'm not into it. Today I saw it. Well, I'm going to hit that little button that says turn off notifications. We're going to stay friends,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to turn off notifications and not see the stuff that comes from you automatically in my feed. And if I want to see anything from you, I'm going to have to go to your profile, to your timeline.
Yeah.
So you just have to be careful and really not scare people off,
Yeah.
but yet be interesting at the same time, and then throw a little Plexus in here and there.
Right. All about balance there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so I've talked to my team about this, but I'd love to hear your opinion on this. What are some good times of day to post on Facebook, like high traffic times during the day to post?
So there's an answer to this for sure. 24 hours a day,
Okay.
7 days a week. Well, because here's what happens. So Facebook has been around for like 10 years, right? Everyone's been on Facebook, what, like maybe 5 minimum, a lot of people, or 3 years minimum, 2 years minimum. There's 1.2, think about the Powerball lottery. That's how many people are on Facebook, right?
Wow, okay.
It's like 1.2 billion, 1.5 billion, something crazy. And most of them, I mean, most of the US is on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's been, if you go do a Google search for best times to post on Facebook 2012, you'll see all these cool infographics come up with all these awesome colors and clocks and times, and they'll say one thing. You Google the same thing for 2013.
It's still
pretty infographics, yeah, and they're all different. 2014, all different. 2015. So to say that there's an answer right now, there's probably someone's got some specific answers out there. I've seen different ones, and because of the way Facebook works, when you go on Facebook, it pulls up your feed, and generally it's going to show you almost kind of like what you missed, the most recent ones. But then it's also going to show you see ones that are labeled yesterday 10:30 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so they're there. It goes more by who you've engaged with. Like, again, back to the engagement. It goes by.
So there's really not good traffic times, for example. It's just how well your post gets engaged. Does it?
And the content. So here's an example for us. And granted, business pages operate a little differently, but our company page, you know, if I post something, if there's something like really important that's like a big announcement, my attempt is to post it at like 6 a.m. Mountain Time, our time, or 5 a.m. our time, because then it's in early enough for East Coast as well, and it's there like when everybody kind of gets up, maybe even earlier than that. But those ones do tend to get the most engagement, but we have 159,000 followers.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. And the content, like you guys, I also share it in other places. I share it in like the groups that I'm in of ambassadors, the convention group, the Going for Gold group. There's thousands of people in these groups. So I'll put it in there too, because I know everybody doesn't look at the Facebook page or get the content from the Facebook page all the time. And on top of that, we usually email it out too. So like the convention contest, that's a good example. The convention contest, that was, you know, we emailed that out. We emailed the link to the blog post. That one we posted in the afternoon, I think yesterday, right?
Yeah.
When did you get that email blast? Was it yesterday afternoon?
It was yesterday afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah, that's right. Because we had to finalize it. So that was posted in the afternoon, but it's still got a good deal of engagement because people want to know the convention contest. They want to know that right away.
So engagement brings it to the forefront more. So those,
yeah,
if at all, you recommend posting something early in the morning so it's caught at the beginning of the day to get that engagement throughout the day, which will keep it circulating back around. That's kind of
if I had, yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
If I had to give that specific answer, it's like early in the morning. If you have something really important you want to post out there, try that. Try some different things too, and see what works.
Okay, that I really appreciate knowing that. That's really cool. Okay, I love this question. How can I spread the word about my business on Facebook outside of just my Facebook friends? Is there a way to do that?
Good. That's a good one because it goes into the kind of the bigger topic that I want to make sure I try to get in every call is having a business page. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people use their personal profiles. I totally get it. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, use your personal profiles to build up your business because that's where your network is. A business page is different because it can be seen by anyone. Mm-hmm. It's public. It's out there. And the way that Facebook is trending, two things. Facebook does not like MLMs, number one. Believe it or not.
No.
Yeah, it's even in their rules, in the terms of service. Like if you're a network marketing company or certain other, they put MLM in there. They don't allow you to run paid ads if you're doing that. So that tells you right there they don't like it. But they are okay with you having a business page because their whole thing against network marketing is that, and network marketers, is that you guys do use your personal profiles and they don't want people to use their personal profiles for business, just in any way.
Yeah.
That's where it's really, in the last 2 years, I would say, it's changed towards that, where they're starting to enforce that more. Especially last year, there was I got a lot of,
I noticed that too,
accounts suspended. That's why we put that that note as far as the sharing the blog link, because anything that looks like even the link, it was iffy going into it, because anything that looks like a spam-ish activity where it's one thing, the same thing that's getting posted in everywhere, even in a private messages, that's still Facebook. It's still, Facebook still sees all that. It's not private, it's Facebook. So a secret group, Facebook, it's all Facebook. So they see all that. And where this went back to is last year at the same time for the convention graphic. Yeah, we emailed and posted it. Did you guys get locked out?
Yeah, no, I didn't. But you know what I did is I actually had to crop the picture in half. So I had two pictures instead of the full picture. And that, I think, is what saved me last.
Probably was different. Yeah, I mean, because you changed it. It. It wasn't the same thing that everybody else was sharing and posting. And people got their accounts suspended for 2 weeks. And I was getting messages and everything, blowing up emails like, what do I do? I don't know what happened. And it was all right after we emailed it. It was the Friday night before Super Saturday.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we emailed it out and posted it too on the Facebook page. And everybody, all these ambassadors were like, oh my God, my account's suspended. They're emailing me and everything. And, I figured out the only common thing was that.
Yeah.
So it came from that somehow. It was a little surprising, but not totally. But any activity like that they're going to kind of flag it at that level.
That's so interesting. It's wild to me. But so you recommend business pages to be seen by non-friends on Facebook. On
Facebook, I would create a business page. I would for your business and really focus on that for business content, and then you could take that and every once in a while you take a post from there and share it into your personal profile.
So share that into my personal. That's okay.
But at least when you have the page, you could tell people. You could say, I mean, it's essentially like a second website for you.
Yeah.
Where you could tell people, hey, go here, and your posts, your videos, and whatever you're doing, you can put on there, and they can find it really easily. Just go on Facebook and search for this name of the page,
Cool.
and it'll come right up.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, here's another question. Is it true, and this is one I hadn't heard before, is it true that you should not tag your team on your posts on your personal pages because it confuses potential customers?
I mean, I can see that. I haven't really like taught that or anything, but I've heard that. Because if I'm looking at it, if I'm a potential customer and I see that post, and it says with Tara and David and Sarah and Sonia and whatever. I mean, I don't know that the everyday person is looking at who's tagged, because first of all, when you tag people, it only shows one name plus
19
10 others, right? So I don't know that that's necessarily the case about it being confusing. I don't know. I just wouldn't necessarily do it, because so what's the point of doing that? You're tagging other ambassadors.
I think the point would be for them to see it and comment, so there's more comments and activity on the post for it to be seen more, maybe?
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of, like, if it was me, if I was an ambassador, I don't just want constantly other ambassadors and team members just commenting on my posts.
That was one of my questions. Yeah.
So because people see that too, and they see the same names, and really all that's happening is people are commenting. Everyone's got good intentions. I totally get it, but if your whole team is just going on every post that you make and saying, "I love Plexus," and this is awesome. Like, it does get infomercial and repetitive and salesy, and it's obvious.
I think it's beneficial at some level, but then it gets to a point where it's just obnoxious, I think.
And again, it goes back to the savvy thing. Like, people recognize, they know that a lot of network marketers are on Plexus, they are on Facebook, and they know you're with Plexus if you're their friend. They know who the people are that comment on all their posts, and in the names, sometimes people even put Plexus in the file name, so it even says Plexus in the commenter's name, and it's just people get turned off by stuff like that sometimes.
Okay. One of my questions that I'm kind of adding in here is I have it to where I have to approve people to tag me in things, because I get tagged all the time, so I have to approve it now. And I get tagged in the Plexus post that we're talking about, where it's like, I don't know, Testimonial Tuesday, for example, and then everybody goes and shares their testimonial. Now, while I see a few of those are beneficial, do you think that is effective? Should we be allowing those on our news feeds, or do you think it annoys non-Plexus people? Do you find any benefit to it? Should we be doing those as a team? What's your take on, the posts I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. And I do the same thing where my profile isn't private. Like, my personal profile is not private, but I have it set so if someone tags me or tries to post on my timeline, I have to approve it. Yeah. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have friends that, like, they're trying to promote, like, some event that I'm not really a part of. And may not even support. And it's like, I'm not gonna put that on my timeline. They can tag me all they want, but it's not gonna be on my page. Again, it kind of goes back to the last question of everybody doing the same thing. That's the other thing too, is if I go on your profile, your timeline, like, say I see a post from you and I say, oh, I want to go check out Tara's profile, like her timeline. And all I see is the same testimonial over and over, or a bunch of testimonials over and over. It's like, it's a sales page.
Yeah.
It's a sales page. Yeah. It's not you. It's just all this sales stuff testimonials and weight loss and everything. So, it kind of depends on how you want to present yourself, but really it's social media. It's not business media. So people want to connect with you on a social level. And if the Plexus thing happens, great, but they're not on Facebook to discover Plexus. At least not that they know, anyway.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Not yet.
Not saying that they won't or can't. I'm just saying that their purpose is not to go buy stuff when they go on Facebook.
Exactly right. So we have to be savvy in the way that we present Plexus, and authentic. I think the number one thing that we have to remember is be authentic to ourselves when we're demonstrating it. And that's something I keep hearing you say as well. So I'm just reiterating your point.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next question, and we just have a couple more here. The link of posts. I want to share as much info as possible, but is it better to be concise, less than three sentences, and then share more when people reach out? Or should I make those long posts where it educates people about Plexus and our products when the time is right for me to do that? What is your take on the longer versus the more concise Plexus posts?
So there's two things at work there, because one thing is a compliance issue in terms of how much you really want to educate someone on Facebook in print and stay compliant, and how much detail you want to get into, which, right now it's you just really need to be careful about what you say. And it goes for every ambassador from the top down. Just, you have to be careful about claims, and even if it's your personal testimony, it's still like, you have to be careful. And there's more coming about all that, but I'm just saying.
So excited for that.
You have to be careful. That's why Chris Reed is here. We got a little sidelined with the back office stuff, because we want to communicate that stuff out. But the Plexus way, we emailed a little bit about that late last year, but that's a whole compliance thing, and there's more info coming for that.
Good.
So you just have to be aware of really what you can and can't post. I know it's sometimes difficult, but just stay away from the claims. But so that's one part of it. The other part of it is more like the Facebook social media side of it, where do you give like a teaser in a way, a sentence or two, or do you go longer form? I think the longer form stuff it's got to be interesting. It's got to provide, like, why am I going to read this paragraph? You better have me hooked within the first.
Yeah, because all I have to do is
words.
swipe up.
yeah, I'm just going to go right by it, and I still even have to hit the see more button to read the whole thing. So it better be interesting. So you better have some good stuff in the beginning, and the longer form stuff, I would even recommend, like, don't make it about Plexus. Make it about you. Make it about a story about you and the kids, or something that happened recently that's interesting. I read a lot of those. I think the attention span thing is overrated. I don't know that people necessarily have a shorter attention span, and especially on social media, I think that gets a bad rap, where it's like, oh, it has to be short, it has to be a short video, it has to be a short piece of content. Well, I don't know. I know people, and I listen to hour-long podcasts because I like the people. Like, I want to listen to that show. I watch Making a Murderer on Netflix, and those are hour-long each.
One day. We did that in one
day. Did you? Oh, man. Are they still coming out with new shows, though?
No,
new episodes?
Just 10.
Oh.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing in like a
I'm about to start number 3. Like, I just picked it up. But like, that's like you just said.
Sit there from the
morning
and
just watch it.
Like, meal plan all of your meals. Get them set up on the coffee table and just do it.
Just watch it.
So look, that's a perfect example. You guys sat there and you dedicated time to it because it's something that interested you, and you made time for that thing. People will make time for the things that they really want to make time for. So you got to get to that point.
Yeah. People make time. Go ahead. People make time for things that interest them. Write them down. I've got an idea. Okay, people make.
It's funny we're talking about this. I was talking to another guy ambassador, I think, at Leaders Retreat, and we never click see more. Like, it's rare. It has to be like, and actually his wife or girlfriend said, well, no, I'll click on them. So we're like, we went to do a poll, how many guys do Seymours and how many girls do them. But it's so rare that I'll click Seymour. Like, it has to be really, really good at the beginning.
So Dave, what's probably, like, besides Plexus, of course, what's like your top kind of hobby or interest, or what do you like to read about?
Well, like, if we're talking about Facebook, I get into the videos. Like, like, I'm like a video junkie. If there's like a cat sliding across ice, like, I'm there.
So how about just you personally? Like, what are you interested in? Not Facebook like that, just in general. Is there something that's that, like, are you into a certain football team or,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
my lawn and stuff, my cars, stuff like that.
Okay.
So like
Heavily, are you into cars like big time?
I will say, if somebody put up like a post about how to keep your grass green or something, I probably would click see more.
Yeah.
But it has to be something to draw me in.
Or like anything
Exactly.
crime-related.
Oh,
crime.
Yeah, but exactly. So here's the thing. So if I know that, like, we're connected, and I know we're buddies, but you don't do Plexus. I know you're into keeping your lawn up. Like, you're heavy into that. Well, if I find something, or I'm into it too, and I write like a story about something that worked for me, that could potentially work for my friends for keeping their grass green, and it was longer. I mean, like you said, you would probably click on it, right?
Right. Yeah.
If it's your buddy talking about, I mean, it depends. It's that interest level. It may only be that one person. It's finding that. So I'm not saying everybody needs to go do it all the time, but it does have a place. I mean, if it's interesting enough, then people, they'll read it.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you about, like, it has to draw you in, like at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's really a great point to note. It make it interesting. Just make it interesting. Okay, so one of these questions but I think that was kind of already answered, but I want to address it because it was submitted. Does messaging somebody on Facebook connect our pages so that I'm in their feed more? I would assume no, it does not.
Oh,
okay.
Not that I've never heard that or anything. It's just it's just an easy way to connect directly with someone. I don't know that it relates at all.
Okay, that's good to know. That's new information to me. And here's the top question, and it's a total loaded question. So
sweet.
It's a big question. How do I get more people to see my Facebook posts? And I think that we got a lot of that kind of already answered. But
it's a combination.
What are your top tips for that?
Be interesting.
There's one.
So be topical.
Mm-hmm.
Being topical is pretty important. I mean, the Powerball thing was a big conversation over the last week and a half. If you have something interesting to say about that, post about it. Do that. In images, posting fun pictures of, like, kids. I mean, there's some things that just automatically work if you're comfortable with, like, posting pictures of your cute toddler. Like, I have a 2-year-old and she's real photogenic, so I post her picture all the time, and she gets more love on Facebook than I ever will ever, because it's that's how you do it. Because then once you get, so one of the things with the algorithm too, though, is once you get people, like, if I post a picture of my 2-year-old and I get 100 likes on it, or comments or shares total, those people now potentially are going to see my next post or next couple posts easier. It's going to get pushed, like, to the top of the feed more, or in the feed as it is. The one thing that I think people forget is, I mean, the average number of friends that people have is up to 350 right now. So on Facebook, average number of friends that any user has is 350. A lot of people have more for different reasons. That's a lot of content, because you add in also the pages that people have followed and liked. So think about that amount of content that's in your feed on a 24/7 daily basis. You're not going to see everything. You're just not. It's physically impossible to see every single post that comes in, even when you hit the see most recent posts and not just top posts. It's impossible. So you have to find ways to reach people like that. Photos do it. The videos that you post natively into Facebook now, Facebook is really pushing those. So when you post a video and it shows you the number of views, it's a little skewed because it's autoplay. And if it's in the feed, it counts as a view. It starts to play. But it's still, I mean, if it says 1,000 views, that's still 1,000 feeds that it showed up in. So video, I would say right now, still, the native video from Facebook is a key. If you could do a video on your phone and upload the video directly from your phone to Facebook, links to YouTube, don't even bother. It's like pointless right now because Facebook is not playing nice with YouTube and not giving those links any love because they want to push the Facebook video up there. The other thing is if people have Facebook Live now, which is like Periscope, but on Facebook, you can now live stream within your feed. So when you start doing that, I get a notification if I'm your friend that says this person just went live. And I can click on that, it pulls you up, and you're sitting there, like I said, it's just like Periscope. It's just like right now. It's like a Zoom call almost, but you guys are on the stream, and I'm just watching, and I can comment on the side. That's going to be a big thing too.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. And I want to give you the chance or the opportunity to just share, Facebook, for my team at least, Facebook is kind of the most used social media that we have on our team.
Everywhere.
So give us, that's what I figured. If you could give us, top tips, maybe 1, 2, 3, to really boost our business, set ourselves aside, what would that be? What would you say we should start doing or keep doing? Any tips that you have for us?
With Facebook or in general?
With Facebook in particular, as far as business boosting, business building on Facebook.
The number one thing is it's the whole being authentic and being genuine. But not selling, which is hard. I know it's hard to do that, to not do that. But it's really about they're connecting with you. They may be interested in Plexus, but more than likely they're not. So you really want to think of yourself when you're on Facebook. Don't approach it like I'm a Plexus ambassador. Approach it, put yourself in someone else's shoes and think about what does my audience want to see potentially? What content will interest them today?
I love that approach. I love that mindset. Before you post something, think of yourself as not a Plexus ambassador at that time. It can change your mindset on how you're going to portray something, how you're going to send that message across. I think that's genius.
Even read the post that you just wrote before you post it.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Don't just type and then post. Like really read it over back to yourself, or even read it to someone else. Read it to someone else that's nearby, like your family, friend, whatever. And not an ambassador necessarily, because if it's a Plexus thing, they may be like, "That's awesome, yeah, go with it," and it may, someone else may not feel that way. But yeah, like read it to David. Yes. They read it to Tara and ask if you have that kind of time. It's beneficial to do that. It's just like anything else that you write. If it's almost like a first draft, try to maybe refine it and see if you can improve it. Unless it's like a real time instantaneous thing that just happened and you got to talk about it and that's it. Yeah. That's different.
Yeah.
But
awesome. So any other tips or words of advice for us that are novices when it comes to social media?
I think what I encourage a lot of people to do, and I know it's a little scary, is but a lot of people have already done it and kind of given up on it, or they still have it and they just don't really do it, is have a blog, because a blog allows you to do a lot more than say Facebook does. You don't have the limitations like your account being suspended or you're limited to like this network. Well, you're not. I mean, if you have your own blog, then essentially that's like your own little spot on the internet. It's not Facebook. It's not rented land on Facebook. It's your house that you control everything, and you can share your posts from there. Most people, if you're on Facebook, you've already been blogging. That's the thing. I always try to make sure people understand that, because Facebook is a blog. That's all it is. It's just Facebook makes it so easy to blog there, essentially, to post things there, that it doesn't feel that way. Whereas your own blog, it's a little bit more effort maybe, but it's usually worth it. And then you can direct people there. It's you. You can talk about yourself, other things, like your things that interest you, and someone may find you because of a Google search. You know, they may be searching for, if you're talking about your lawn, David, like you do a blog post about today with the lawn, this is what happened and this is the issue I ran across and how I solved it. Well, a year from now, that's still sitting out there, and someone may find you because of that.
That's true.
That's a good point.
You know, it's whereas Facebook, it's whatever you wrote is, I mean, it's there somewhere, but
somewhere,
you
but
have to
down.
go find it, and it's not easy to find.
That's a great tip.
That was awesome.
Blog. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Vincent, for your time. We kind of ran over. I appreciate you sticking around for an extra 6 minutes, but I really
I think we all learned so much.
Yeah,
we
I
really
think we
appreciate
did.
it.
Yeah, I think
My
we all
pleasure.
took away lots of nuggets of information, and I so appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Vincent.
Of course,
Thank
my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored, and if you guys need anything, feel free to. You can always email me, social media at plexusworldwide.com. And I'm gonna throw a plug in for our accounts. You ready?
Okay.
I want to make sure everybody knows. Okay, so the Facebook page, make sure you follow it. It's facebook.com/plexusslim. That's like our company page that I update regularly. The Instagram account is just at Plexus Worldwide. If you search for Plexus Worldwide on Instagram. Twitter, we have 2 accounts. We have at Plexus Worldwide there too, and at Plexus Slim.
Okay.
The Pinterest one is official Plexus Worldwide. I think it's official Plexus Worldwide is the name of it. YouTube, of course, is we have our channel there, and that one's the real Plexus Worldwide. So you'll see it because it'll have the logo when you do a search for the channels. It'll show channel and have the logo in there. And our blog. So we brought on Alejandro, new employee, a couple months back. Actually, it was like 4 months now. And he came from another network marketing company, but he's been doing the whole blogging thing. And if you go to our blog, you can get there. It's plexuslearningcenter.com directly. That's the easiest way to get there. And he's been posting a ton of stuff. We have more that's going to be coming. He posts, we have all these recipes for P96.
Oh, cool.
And I usually try to share those on the page and out on the Twitter accounts and stuff. But like, we have fun with it. Like yesterday was, every day is something. Yesterday was National Peach Melba Day, right? There's this website I go to and see all these things. So we had a recipe for like P96 Peach Melba shake. And it's not peach flavored P96. It's put this stuff together and it's like a peach Melba with like vanilla and
cool.
So there's that type of stuff. We had a lot of the Super Saturday information on there on the blog. We usually post the big announcements there too, but then with some background, like the home office stuff, there's going to be a bunch of stuff about the new building.
That's really cool. I like, so plexuslearningcenter.com.
Yeah, and then we're going to do a redesign too. Right now it's not the most visually pleasing, but it's going to get a redesign this year for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Vincent. And I know I can speak on behalf of the team that's here. We really enjoyed it and learned a ton. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.